Oh no, I've got to go, I've got to go. So last week I posted a question and asked you guys what you wanted me to make, and the most overwhelming response was something for Halloween. And I remembered I got given this hand casting kit, and it was ideally given to us so me and Nicole could hold our hands together and dip it in the mould and make a plaster cast of it. But I pitched my creepy hand idea to Nicole last night, and she was happy for me to use this to make a video for you guys. So basically this kit comes with a couple of bags of moulding powder and a couple of bags of casting stone. Now we won't be needing the casting stone, so we'll leave that behind, but I will need to read these instructions. So it's saying I need to use 3 litres of cold water for these 2 bags, but I don't think I'm going to need both. Since this kit's designed to do 3 to 4 hands at once, I reckon I'll get away with just using 1 bag. So it looks like once we start mixing, we don't have a lot of time. It says I've got 1 minute. It'll start off with a dark pink, then go light pink, and then it'll be white when it's set. It says here I've got to very quickly mix the powder on turbo speed, using a bar mix. I don't have a bar mix. I think I'll take a gamble and just use a normal whisk. Gee, I like the way they put all this 1 minute stuff in red. 1 minute, 1 minute, you've only got 1 minute. Important. It's kind of making me nervous. So my thought is to go for a creepy zombie looking hand. What do you guys think? I've been searching around for a container and this is about the only one I can find. So it could be a bit of a tight fit. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. You know, it smells very much like that same alginate that I used when I cast Molly's paw. I don't even know if this is really going to work, to be honest. You know what? I've got a horrible feeling that I'm going to have to mix this with the water in a separate bucket, because there ain't no way I'm going to put 1.5 litres of water in there. Alright, change of plan. I'm going to put the powder in the bigger bucket. Okay, so my plan is I've got 1.5 litres of cold water. I'm going to pour it into this larger bucket, whisk the crap out of it, and then pour it into the smaller one and dunk my hand in. And I've got to do that all within a minute. I also grabbed myself a wooden spoon. I thought it might be easier to start mixing with this, then I'll switch over to the whisk. It says here if you use another bucket for mixing, make sure you allow enough time to pour it back into the DIY bucket, and you'll need another person to hold the bucket while you quickly scrape it in for use. I'm home by myself. Well, here goes nothing. Wish me luck. God, it's been 16 seconds and I've only just gotten the water in. Oh no, I've got to go, I've got to go. Here we go, creepy hand. Uh-oh. Oh. I know about this. It's 1:10, it's not setting. It is going lighter. Something's not right. Two and a half minutes and it still hasn't set. What a lie. My hand's cramping. It still doesn't feel set. I mean, it's definitely firm, but it doesn't feel set. Not enough to where I can pull my hand out anyway. I think I might just leave it in till the 5-minute mark, just to be sure. Well, that's 5 minutes. Definitely feels set. Look at that. I got a bit close to the sidewall there. Now I've got to try and get my hand out. Oh, I did it. Check out how cool that looks. There's a couple of things I'm worried about before I go pouring this resin in. The first thing, the mould is very wet and I'm worried that that moisture is going to creep into the resin and basically ruin it. The other thing is my hand come very close to the side here and it's made the mould very thin on one side, so we could have a disaster there too. I'm in two minds what to do now. I'm not sure whether to let this dry overnight and maybe some of the moisture will evaporate away, or grab a hairdryer and try and dry most of the moisture. I'm just not sure. Guess what I'll be replacing? So because I'm impatient, I'm going to go with the hairdryer and see if we can just dry this out a little bit. That actually works surprisingly well. The resin I'll be using for this cast is one that I've never tried before. It's called River Cast by Just Resin. Now they sent me this test sample to try. I'm not sure if River Cast will be the final name or whether they'll call it Deep Cast, but this particular resin has a low exothermic reaction, so you can do deeper pours with it. My plan was to make 3 hands because I've got 3 different colours of this glow-in-the-dark powder, but I don't think that mould's going to hold up to 3 different casts, so I need to choose which one I'm going to use. Now I'm not too sure which one will have the creepiest effect, but I do kind of like the blue one. Because this resin's mixed at a ratio of 2 to 1, I'm just going to take one of my paint mixing cups. It's got the ratios printed on the side here, and that'll make it a lot easier to get it right. I'm not too worried if I get bubbles in this mixture. I won't be putting this one in the pressure pot, and I think bubbles will give the hand a cool look. I'm not too sure how much of this glow powder I'm going to need, but I do know that I want a nice bright effect, so I'm definitely going to use a fair bit. Let's just have a quick look at our consistency before we pour it in. I think that looks pretty good. I did mix up 400 mils. I don't think that's going to be enough to do the full cast, but we'll pour it in and see how far we get. If you want to try any of Just Resin's products for yourself, I'll leave a link to their website in the description. You can also grab yourself a 10% discount by using code word BENSWORX10. So all that's left now is to put this to one side and let it cure. I have no idea how long that's going to take. I'll keep checking on it every 3 to 4 hours and see how it goes. So it's been about an hour since I casted this. I thought I'd check in and see what the temp's like. So it looks like we're about 50 degrees Celsius. Or about 115, 116 Fahrenheit. It's been 24 hours. It looks like this is cured, so let's try and take it out of the mould. I think I'm just going to break away this alginate, see what we got. Check that out. Wow, that looks cool. I'm really happy with that. I think it turned out really good. I did get one little air pocket on the back here, but apart from that, it's a pretty nice casting. It kind of looks like a hand coming out of the grave. Now I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean up and try and get some of this alginate off, and then we'll start thinking about how we're going to display it. So I'll give my hand a bit of a wash. It's all nice and clean now. I've got most of the alginate off. It's looking pretty good. And I've also had to think about what I want to do for the base. I've decided I'm going to take a piece of plywood and I'm going to mount the hand on top. And then I'm going to take some of this decoration moss and put it around the hand. I also grabbed some dirt from the front yard. That way it looks like the hand's coming out of the ground. So the first thing I need to do is take some 5-minute epoxy and glue this hand down. I think while I got a bit of excess epoxy, I might spread some dirt around the base. Just to lock it all in, I'm just going to run around with some UV resin. That's starting to look pretty cool. Now I'm going to add some moss. I feel like this is going to be one of those projects where you could spend hours just playing around with it until you get the right look. So I think what I might do is I might turn the camera off, play around with it for a bit, then I'll check back in when I feel like I've made some progress. And just like that, what was 2 seconds for you was about an hour for me. All I've got left to do is this back a little bit here, and I'm running out of moss. You can see here that I scraped up all these little pieces. I've even got all the little bits I dropped on the ground. That's all I got left. So I'm going to have to sparingly put it on the back here, but apart from that, I think it's looking pretty good. So I've finished gluing the moss on. I think it looks pretty good. There's one more thing I want to do, and that's spread a bit more dirt around the base of the hand. But apart from that, I think we're pretty much finished. I think that looks much better. What do you reckon? Now I'm going to let this sit for a couple of hours and just let everything cure. While that's curing, I've decided I want the hand to be holding something. So I found myself an eyeball. Now all I have to do is modify it to make it look creepy. So pretty much like everything else I make, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I got myself some gel medium, some lip gloss, some UV resin, some candy red ink, and some cotton balls. So hopefully with all this, we can make a creepy looking eye. I think the first step is going to be just dyeing some of these cotton balls red. I think I might try that again with some water. So I'm thinking maybe something like that for the tendons and nerves and all that kind of stuff that hangs off the back of your eyeball. I think that looks alright. Now I'm going to add some of this lip gloss around the outside. Check that out. Now we're starting to look creepy. Now I'm going to try and attach these tendons somehow. We'll try a bit of UV resin, see if that'll hold it down. I think that's not looking too bad at all, but what I might do now is I might mount it into the hand. That way I can play with it while it's fixed in position. I'm just going to have to try and wedge it in there somehow. That's not looking too bad at all. I'll probably go around now and touch up some of these white bits, get a bit more fake blood, have it dripping down his hand. Then I think we're done. That's the effect we're going for. So everything I use there will dry, including this lip gloss. So all I'm going to do now is put it to one side, let it dry, and then we'll check it out. All that glow powder. Let's see how it looks. That actually looks really nice. It's a nice even glow too. Imagine this sitting in your front garden at night. That'd freak out all your neighbours. So because I'm never really satisfied, I was just taking the thumbnail for this video and I really feel like I want the eye to glow. So I'm just going to mix up some glow powder with some UV resin and I'm just going to paint the eyeball. Let's see if that works. That didn't turn out too bad. At least the eye glows now and you can make it out in the dark. Well guys, what did you think of this one? I reckon it looks nice and creepy. This is Ben from the future, 5 years later. Did I age well? Not really. Look at our Halloween setup behind us here. Nicole and I actually just finished filming a Halloween special for the vlog. It's amazing. We even did the update on the pumpkin, the 2 pumpkins actually. Really cool, so make sure you see that. I think that video is coming out tomorrow. Now, fun fact, before we have a look at this hand, this is the same room that I just filmed that episode you just watched. I was just standing here before for the outro, and I had the overhead camera set up there, and we were filming in this room right here. Bit of a fun fact for you. Anyway, are you guys ready to see the hand 5 years later? Let's have a look. Check it out. 5 years. It actually had a whole bunch of dust, well, it has a whole bunch of dust on it. And I thought, you know what? I'm leaving it because it's Halloween. It's creepy. It can be full of dust and garbage and everything else. Look at it. It actually held up quite well. The eye looks pretty good. I should wipe a bit of the dust off. How's that? I think it's held up nice. The grass looks good. The soil, I mean, like I said, it has got dust on it, but let's have a look in the sun. That's not bad, hey? The blood's still there. I guess there is only one thing to check, and that is to see if it still glows, hey? What do you reckon? Should we do that? Now, I can't get it completely dark in here. We do have a little bit of light coming through the door, but it should be good enough to see if this still glows. Are you ready? Oh, yeah, definitely. Look at that. That still looks creepy. Oh, I'm so happy it still glows. Well, guys, that's it for this vault episode. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button. And don't forget, tomorrow's vlog episode is going to be amazing. And it's a long one too. You're really going to enjoy it. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.